In the 2022-2023 NBA season, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in my opinion, they had a very impressive year. When you look at them being one of the youngest teams in all of the NBA, I feel like it was a successful season for them for many reasons. Number one, they were competitive all season long. They won a lot of big-time games, and they also won a lot of meaningful games down the stretch of the season. Games that were very, very important, games that could have made a difference between teams making the playoffs or the play-in tournament. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, they did get into the play-in tournament. They won one game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and then they came up short against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But giving all of that, I think it was a successful season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We also saw great individual seasons from guys on this team. We saw improvement from Josh Giddey from his rookie year to his sophomore year. We saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had one of the best scoring seasons in NBA history. Very efficient, putting up 30-plus points per game. He made the All-Star game, and they also had a great rookie season from Jalen Williams. So it was a great season for Oklahoma City Thunder, in my opinion. And while all that greatness was going on, we kind of forget that they're missing the number 2 overall pick from the 2022 NBA draft, Chet Holmgren. Now, before we talk about what Chet Holmgren is going to bring to the Oklahoma City on the basketball court as far as his skill set, I think we need to give him props for all the work he's been putting in during his rehab in his offseason. And I can't imagine how it must feel psychologically to be a lottery pick, a top 3 overall pick, and then you get injured in the offseason and you have to miss your first year of the NBA. And technically he'll still be a rookie next season. He'll still have a chance to win Rookie of the Year. But the point I'm trying to make, when things like that happen, you never know. It can really affect your mental and you can feel unmotivated at times. But it seems like Chet Holmgren, he had the exact opposite feeling of unmotivated, because he's kind of had a little body transformation of his own coming into the NBA. He weighed 195 pounds, and now he just got weighed for the Oklahoma City Thunder Summer League roster, and he now weighs 208 pounds, and he looks very lean, and it looks like he's put on a lot of muscle. Now, this is going to be very important for Chet Holmgren when it comes to things like setting screens, banging in a low post, and just boxing out bigger players. And what I love about this is just really his first year with NBA trainers and NBA dietitians. This is his first year having that stuff available to him, and he's already added 13 pounds of muscle. So I believe over, as time goes on, he's going to continue to add muscle to his frame. So I wanted to give him props for that. And now we could talk about the much needed skill set. I feel like everything that Chet Holmgren brings to the game of basketball could have made the Oklahoma City Thunder so much more better last season. And this is also being recorded after the Oklahoma City Thunder's first Summer League game. And Chet Holmgren, in just 29 minutes of playing time, he had a very impressive night. He dropped 15 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 2 assists. So a very all around an impressive stat line. But let's jump into what he's going to bring to the Oklahoma City Thunder next season and how he's going to make them significantly better. Now, the first thing I want to look at is the scheme that the Oklahoma City Thunder ran last season. They ran a lot of 5-out, and 5-out is one of the most elite spacing systems in the NBA. Is when you have all 5 guys out on the perimeter, and most of the time all 5 of those guys can knock down the 3-point shot. So instantly adding Chet Holmgren to the starting 5, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're still going to be able to run the 5-out and have elite spacing, because Chet Holmgren, he can knock down the 3-point shot. He's definitely not going to be left wide open. So that elite spacing is still going to be there for guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, and all the other perimeter players on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I love that aspect for Chet Holmgren. He can knock down 3-point shots off the catch and off the dribble, and he should add to the Oklahoma City Thunder's elite spacing. And we're going to stay on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Chet Holmgren, he's a very versatile player, both offensively and defensively. And when it comes to offense, he's so much more than a 3-point shooter. Now, he's also going to give the Oklahoma City Thunder another dimension to the offensive side of the ball. Last year, they didn't really have no rim runners, and they didn't really have no true bigs on the team. So I feel like adding Chet Holmgren to the lineup is going to make the two-man game so much better. Just imagine the pick and roll or the pick and pop with Josh Giddey and Chet Holmgren, or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren. I feel like with the skill set of all three of these guys, there's going to be a pick your poison type situation. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, last season, he proved he's one of the best scorers in all of the NBA, and it's going to take a lot of bodies to slow him down, and I don't think you can stop him. He can get to the free throw line. We'll get into that later. We're talking about Chet Holmgren, but just these three guys in the two-man game, alternating with Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous as the ball handler and Chet Holmgren as the screen setter. Chet Holmgren, he has the ability to pop out, which can throw off opposing big men. Opposing bigs are not used to closing out to the three-point line, so he can pop out and knock down a three-point shot. He's probably going to get a lot of wide open shots off that set alone, and then also just rolling to the basket. Shai Gilgeous, like we just established, coming off a screen, he's probably going to see multiple bodies, and that's going to open up the floor for everyone else. Chet Holmgren rolling to the basket, getting easy looks, or if the defenses defend pick and rolls in so many different ways, team might rotate heavy and drop down to the roller, which is Chet Holmgren, and now is wide open cutters and wide open shooters. So I love that they get another dimension added to the offense, just having a big man that can roll and finish around the rim. And Chet Holmgren, he's a great finisher around the rim. He has great touch. His college season at Gonzaga, he shot 74% on shots that came in the paint. Very impressive. And even when he was just 195 pounds, he still did a great job of finishing through contact, and now he's put on 13 pounds of muscle, so I expect him to be even better when it comes to finishing through contact. And he also has some post work to his game too. So I feel like adding Chet Holmgren, he's going to add multiple dimensions to this Oklahoma City Thunder offense. They're going to have a big that they can throw the ball to down in the low post and make a play. They have a big that can spot up and knock down three-point shots, and he's also a lob threat. He's 7 foot tall with an insane wingspan, so you could just throw it up and he can go up there and jump and get it. He had a bunch of dunks and a bunch of lob finishes when he played at Gonzaga. So I love what he's going to bring to this team offensively. Okay, we covered the offense, and now we can get to what he does on the defensive side of the ball. And many argue that the defensive side of his game is the best part of Chet Holmgren's game. And usually when they say that, they're referring to his rim protection. Now he's around 7 foot 1 inches tall, and he has a 7'6" wingspan. So he did a great job when he played in college, blocking shots, protecting the rim. I believe in college he averaged 3.7 blocks per game, and that was good for 4th in all of the nation. And in the summer league, in that last previous game that I was just talking about earlier, he finished with 4 blocks. So I think this is also very important for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because we talked about a lot of the time how they were an undersized team and they really didn't have a true big on the team, and they also didn't have any rim protection. So they have some very solid perimeter defenders. They have one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and Luke Dort, that guy really gets after it. So it's going to be interesting to see him and Chet Holmgren, one of those guys, securing the perimeter, and now you have Chet Holmgren securing the paint. So that's another dimension that he's going to add to this Oklahoma City Thunder team, is elite rim protection, which they desperately needed. And also something that he was pretty decent at in college was switching on the perimeter, and we all know how important that is nowadays, because a lot of the times in the NBA, it's not too many plays being ran, but what happens a lot is mismatch hunting. We'll see whoever the big is guarding, his man is going to come set a screen, and the objective is to get that big to play some defense on the perimeter. And now nowadays, most bigs, if you can't really defend on the perimeter, you're not going to be playing that much when times matter the most. But Chet Holmgren, he definitely has some lateral quickness to his game, and when you have a 7'6" wingspan, you don't really have to get too close up and personal on a guy, because you have all that length to make up for the space that opposing player is making. And I was just doing some reading when he played at Gonzaga. opposing players only shot 31% on him when he was being isolated. So you would live with that all day long. So Chet Holmgren, he's going to bring so many things to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's still going to allow them to be able to space the floor. He's going to add three-point shooting. He's going to add some screen setting, some rolling to the rim, popping out to the three-point line. And defensively, he's going to have such a great presence, 7'6" wingspan. He's already a great shot blocker. He has great form. He has great technique. He goes up vertical with two hands, and he still gets a block. And also, he's going to be able to guard guys on the perimeter and use that wingspan to make up for space that is being created. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm not going to give any predictions right now. Like I said, the Western, well, I said this in the previous video, the Western Conference is very loaded. Look at what the Houston Rockets just did. Look at the San Antonio Spurs. They have what could possibly be a generational talent with Victor Wembanyama. There's really not too many, weak teams in the Western Conference, and I think every night we're going to see some competitive basketball. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, man, do they have some talent on this team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Josh Giddey, J-Dub, Cason Wallace, just a Luke Dort, just so Trey Mann. I saw Trey Mann catch a nasty body last night in the Summer League. So just a lot of young talent on this team. And another thing before we end the vid, I just want to say that it was also very impressive what the Oklahoma City Thunder did last year. Not really having no veteran presence on the team. Like, they're a very young team playing competitive and winning basketball, and I just saw that they made a trade for Victor Oladipo. He's seen a lot in the NBA when it comes to competing in the playoffs, rehabbing for injuries. So I think he's going to have an opportunity for some leadership on his team, and he might play some quality minutes coming off the bench. But that's going to be it for this video. I think the body transformation and also just getting Chet Holmgren back into the lineup is going to be great for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you really enjoyed this video, subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.